Hello, dear Mindfulness Collective. This right here, right now, is the joy of being a live stream. Come to you live from Brooklyn, New York, folks. Very glad to be here with you. Let me tell you that. Fact of matter is that we have a very special guest today. That's right. You won't believe it, but in order to find out who our special guest is, we need something from you. A little give and take here. We need to know where you're at, what you're grateful for. Where you're at could be as simple as a name of a country, state, city, whatever you want. What you're grateful for. Grateful for wonderful students. Oh my goodness, I couldn't ask for better students. Okay, let's see if we can get something going here. What does this look like? Where is this? Here we go. That's good. So far, so good. Is this it? Oh, there we go. Okay, that is not what I was hoping for. 1 second, I'm just setting something up here so you guys can have a little extra. Oh, I know what to do. Oh, I see. Very smart. I've set this up before already. This is our special guest. I'm bringing them on now. Special guest, ladies and gentlemen, in the house. That's right. We've got precisely one Willow here with us today. She's right here. Right there. She's a sweetie. We're going to see if she's old enough now to actually be with us during the stream. That would just be lovely, wouldn't it? Okay, wonderful. We're getting some people popping in here. Jean, morning from Fort Greene, from Greene, Brooklyn. From Fort Greene, Brooklyn. That's where I am too. Thankful for cool neighbors. Well, I know I'm cool, but I'm just kidding. I'm sure you're thinking of lots of different people. Vienna, grateful for shampoo? ? I'm grateful for shampoo as well. Nick, hi, from Karlstad office, Sweden. Grateful for the absence of pain. You know, that is a great point. You know, this is often the case. This doggy cam so dim. It's also so zoomed in. Okay, anyway. The point is that often when I have a flu, this is what'll happen. I'll have the flu and I'll be like, oh my God, I have the flu. And then I'll think to myself, oh, I should be so grateful for when I don't have the flu. When I don't have the flu, I'm going to be so happy that I don't have the flu. And then for a week or a few weeks afterwards, it comes to mind. I'm like, oh, I'm so happy I don't have the flu. Hey, doggo. Do you see the things on the screen there bopping around? Those are for you. She sees them. So let's all have a little gratitude that hopefully we're not in extreme pain, but a little gratitude that our bodies right now are not in a ton of pain. That is really, really cool. I'm very excited about that. Thanks for the reminder. Great reminder. Hello from Greece. Grateful for being able to work from home. Oh yeah. Love homework. I love homework. It's the best. No, but the point of it is that love to be able to work from home. I work from home. That's how I work. Okay, let me arrange this so you can see the doggo better. I know some people have said, that they find the dog distracting. But you can go to hell. I'm just kidding. Okay, folks, if you're just joining us, let us know where you're at, what you're grateful for. I'm going to adjust the doggy cam. Okay, doggy cam, come on over. Maybe this will be a better viewing experience for folks. Oops, the cord is caught. Okay, so the point of it is, this is the underside of my desk, and this is a cord that is too short. That is something I should have dealt with before the stream. Okay, cord is too short, but I can still arrange it so you can see the doggo. Okay, that's a much better view of doggo. Look at that little son of a gun. Oh, yeah. Look at that little buggo. That's probably to scale on your screen. However big she is on your screen right now is probably actually to scale. She's very, very cute. Hello. Apple strudel for the first time today. Wow, first time in your life. Very lovely. Okay, folks, hit me up here. I don't know the backstory on this strudel, but hit me up right now. If you're new here, let us know. We have a nice way of greeting you. If you're somewhere, let us know where, and then let us know why and how. Great job, Willow. You did a great job just now being a dog. Okay. Mitch Schlag. Okay, so you guys are having a total side conversation. You didn't need me for this. Okay, so the point is, hey, chill. Is there a missing kernel here that you didn't eat? No, you ate it all. Okay, you're good. Okay, the point is, folks, we got ourselves a doggo on stream today. Eat this. Chew on this. Over here. You actually have to train the dog to be calm, which is not something I knew. I thought dogs would just know how to be calm, but they don't. They need leadership and need you to train them not to do all the frantic things. Okay, so let's see here. Folks, we're going to meditate for 25 minutes. I had a special meditation in mind today because I just did this meditation with a student. And what is that meditation? What am I referring to? My lighting gets messed up because it was balancing on that webcam. Okay. Maybe I could light Willow a little better. Okay. My arm is in the way. I just have to do this for the stream, and then you can see Willow perfectly. Okay. So the point of it is, folks, that which way? This way. Okay. Just did a meditation with a student. It was really lovely. And this is something we've done before, we've done in the past, but very young being can't self-soothe, regulate, right? Or maybe that's just humans, very young beings. Well, what they need, which is interesting because this is about our meditation that we're going to do today, what they need is guidance from something or someone that has the qualities that they need. So if I can, like I just was watching these really cool videos about the dog, so this is relevant. I'm not just talking dog talk now. This is relevant for the meditation we're doing today. If I'm like constantly like, well, yeah, if I say her name, I don't want to say her name because it'll get her excited. Like watch what happens to her if I say her name. Willow. Exactly, right? If I'm just constantly doing stuff like that, which is kind of how I treat it, like it was always like, get the dog's attention. Hey, you're a puppy, pay attention. But it's like, it doesn't need that all the time. And so like my job is to like really slowly, or like just even put my hand on it. No petting even. Petting is like too much. And just to let it know that it can like calm and stay chill and this kind of thing. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Essentially is being gentle with the parts of ourselves that are vulnerable, because what they actually need is guidance. They need support from us. And that's a lot of what we do is we say like, oh, the part of me that's vulnerable, like, go to hell. Like, the part of me that doesn't want to work, or the part of me that's scared of this, job, or part of me, all these different parts, we just push them away. And the problem with that is that they don't go away. They then just feel neglected and pushed away. So in the same way, if I were like, Willow, you keep peeing all over the place, I'm so mad at you, which actually I have to stop myself from doing because she pees all over the place. It's not going to help. It's not going to do anything. It's going to make things worse. It's going to make her have behavior, be afraid of me. And so like parts will be afraid of us, or parts will be afraid of other parts, because there's a lack of kindness there. So I'm now discovering this lighting issue with this puppo. But anyway, we'll figure that out some other time. Right now it's a hand in the air if you want to see that. Hand in the air if you want a dog stare. So parental neglect is as abusive as normal abuse. Well, yeah, parental abuse can be, basically neglect is a real, very real trauma. So, folks, what we're going to do today is we're going to be doing a meditation, effectively, you could say, to reverse the effects of trauma. I don't know if it's going to all happen all at once in this meditation today, but it will, in fact, happen over time. And that's how it's going to be. So, folks, finding a nice, comfortable position that you can maintain for the duration of the sit. That will be 25 minutes. If you're sitting here thinking, I can't meditate for 25 minutes, that's literally impossible. Well, what you're dealing with is a part of you. The other part's like, yeah, I can do this. I've sat through movies for hours, right? whatever that part says, right? Usually if that part's like, oh, I want to meditate, yeah, I'd like to meditate, but I can't because my mind will do blah, 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 or it'll be overwhelming, or it'll just be too long, or whatever. Oh, we have a new subscriber, Exalted Bro. Thank you so much. Oh, Nick gifted a gift subscription. Thank you, Nick. Very kind of you. Supporting us helps. Oh, P.S. If you have Amazon Prime, you can support us for free, and it still supports. So just click through, and I think that there should be something popping up in the chat anytime. I think it's if I do this. Is that right? Yeah, there you go. That's how to do it through Amazon. So, folks, what's the point of it all? Is get ready. We're going to meditate for 25 minutes. I'm going to encourage you to practice in stillness, meaning not moving the body at all. If you need to move the body, however, what I would suggest is to wait 30 seconds or a minute so you know that that movement is conscious. And, oh, is it an emoji party before we start meditating? Is that what we're having here? You guys want to compete to see who can get the most emojis on the screen in time? I'm pretty sure I'm going to win this one. I can click faster than you guys. Okay, but the point is, we're going to meditate for 25 minutes, starting in any minute. So find that nice, comfortable position that you can. Get all your yayas out with those emojis. Oh, damn it. Fine, you got me. Okay. No more fun, guys. The fun part's over. We have to meditate. Okay, so we'll meditate for 25 minutes, and I'll make the doggy invisible. If you hear some dog sounds, just observe the part that arises that's like, rah, dog sounds aren't meditative. That's not how that works. So find a nice, comfortable position that you can maintain for the duration. When you're ready, we'll begin. Beginning by taking a few comfortable deep breaths and just feeling the body rise and fall. Each time we begin a meditation, we begin with the momentum of all of the previous moments. So this current experience is unfolding out of all of the decisions and circumstances that have come before. So if our mind has been moving along very quickly throughout the day, or is tired or sluggish, that's the kind of experience we're going to have, and that's okay. It's not a problem. So beginning by sweeping through the body to be sure we're not holding any undue tension. So starting at the top of the head, relax the brow, relax the muscles behind the eyes, allow the face to go smooth, relax the back of the tongue and let the jaw go slack, no need to hold it closed. Relax the neck and the shoulders. The arms, and relaxing the hands. Noticing that the hands themselves are full of a nuanced sensation. So letting go deeply in the hands, more deeply than we can even physically feel. This might sound like a contradiction, but we can actually let go more than we can feel. The hands are a great place to try this because we can feel more in this area of the body. Letting go of any attempt to control the breath, just letting the body breathe as it will, and noticing the natural tightening and relaxing of the upper chest and upper back as the breath comes and goes. Relaxing the belly and the lower back. Relaxing the hips, the upper legs, the knees and calves, and relaxing the feet. And then taking in the experience of relaxation all throughout the body. So one large collection of letting go rather than any one particular sensation. The mind can zoom into detail, but in this case we're asking the mind to hold a more overall picture. This is a different way to use the mind. This is what's called awareness. So being aware of all of the restful or neutral sensations in the body as one big collective. And anytime we find the mind drifts away, coming back to this collective awareness of the restful sensations in the body. And what we're developing is clarity of this experience. It is clearly known. And continuity. Letting it be known over time. So we're simply taking in our general experience of the body, one large collection of sensations. If it's familiar or easy, we can actually take in all of our sensations, all seeing, hearing, and feeling as one collective, if we'd prefer. And because we're holding the mind open in a spacious way, distraction, which is natural, will come in the form of parts. If we're holding the mind in the shape of the whole, the overall, distraction will be pieces of our experience. This is not a problem. This is just nature. So the mind holds all Mind holds the whole. And then things will distract us, pull us into detail. Not a problem. We simply introduce that detail back to the whole. And at times, distractions won't simply pull the mind. The body will have a specific response, meaning an emotional valence. It likes or dislikes, wants or not wants, whatever that experience is. If that's the case, noticing that as a part, noticing that as an experience that is divided, that is not the whole. It's not a problem, it's part of nature. And it is also simply not the whole. A part that prefers something is in the realm of objects. So it can be helpful to find parts that prefer, that want things to be a certain way. It's often the case that these parts don't consider themselves parts, they consider themselves reality. So whatever parts of us arise, not just recognizing them as some aspect of our experience, but also recognizing them as a drive. Part of us that wants or doesn't want, likes or doesn't like. It's a kind of force. And we can meet that force with a kind of stance of course, I see you. Using those words or just using kind awareness, of course. Often the thinking mind, the understanding mind, thinks that it's the one running the show. And just like all the other parts, doesn't think that it's a part, thinks it is reality. So if there's a part of us that thinks it's the one saying, I see you, or of course, being sure to recognize this as well, as a drive. I see you, of course. And so we're cultivating a field of kind friendliness to whatever part of us arises. The part that says that this meditation is going wonderfully, or this meditation is going terribly. To any of these parts we can say, of course, I see you. Understanding that it's a drive. If we get distracted or pulled away, to this we can say, of course, I see you. Recognizing that the pull to distraction is simply another function of the mind. Perhaps even another part of us. We can even bring to mind parts that have struggled in the recent past. Not necessarily worrying about their stories or memories. Simply knowing them in this moment, recognizing them as drives, and saying, yes, I see you, of course. Sometimes we'll think of something we did in the past that was embarrassing. And a wave of adrenaline will stem from the belly and shoot out the whole body. Sometimes waking us up in the middle of the night. Or we'll remember something that's very important to do. A list will pop into the mind. Or we'll consider for a moment how lonely we can feel at times. None of these are bad. And at this moment, we're simply seeing them as different drives within us. These and all of the other parts that push and pull within us. Ah, yes, I see you. Of course. Each of us has pain, some of us great pain. And so we're recognizing that this pain is not me. It's not bad. It's often simply a part of us trying to give us information. I see you. Of course. course, our body would have a warning system that might not know when to turn off. Of course, parts of us would feel sad or fearful or lonely, of course. Of course. And not simply saying our kind phrase to these various parts of us, but seeing if we can make the connection so those parts can feel that sentiment. Whatever part we're working with. Or whatever parts come to the surface, saying, of course, but being sure that it knows that we understand it from its perspective. It can feel understood. Perhaps that even means changing the phrase or tonality, or even changing the way we're breathing or holding the body. Listening to that part. Recognizing that it's nature, of course. Of course you would feel that way or behave that way. And if some other part thinks, no, that's wrong, we shouldn't do it like that, that's not the right kind of response, I don't like that part, or this process is frustrating, whatever it says, we simply say, of course, that makes perfect sense. Of course. Often these parts within us are remarkably childlike. They think they need to shout to get our attention. They're scared of things that might objectively be not scary. They think that by judging or being angry at parts of the world, parts of us, they can get their way. Kind of tantrum logic. We don't judge this. We simply say, of course. It makes sense that such a young part of us would want something so much. Of course. Such a young part of us would be so concerned with something perhaps superficial. Or would be so young that it confuses current annoyance or something difficult as a grave danger similar to one it's experienced in the past. Of course. Of course. recognizing that all of our fears, our sadness, our anxiety, these are not us. They are simply sensations and drives in an ordinary human body mind. Of course. And staying with the practice, staying in stillness, allowing a tiny bit of light to enter the eyes. Eventually allowing the eyes to rest on a single point that's not a screen, not text. And whatever arises in this moment, a sense that this went wonderfully or this went terribly. Greeting it with, of course. And in that way, letting this particular moment be the great teacher that shows us how we might bring this practice into every aspect of our life. Okay. So, using those digits, my favorite digital technology, to tell me what happened. What happened? What happened? What do you like now? See, this is a very interesting meditation because the dog has disappeared. Because whatever happened is going to be different drivers and forces related to what we're talking about. It's going to be a force that says, that was great or that was terrible. It's going to be a force that pushes us in any particular direction. So as we're doing it, as we're typing, etc., seeing if we can see these drives within us and say the same thing. Of course, noticing that. Also, we're working on making our Discord function. The bot we've been telling you is going to exist soon, is coming very soon. But bot, in the meantime, I'm going to open up a link here for anyone who wants to chat. And we can go from there. Chat. Let's see here. Willow, that's not where you're supposed to be. Go back there. That was very dramatic. You're so dramatic. Yeah, you want attention, huh? Doggy wants attention. No. No, I don't want that. Maybe I do. Okay, going back here. Voice channel. Okay, live chat. Okay, I'm going to make a sharing thing here. Again, how do I stage settings? Invite. Let's show hands. Invite. Copy link. Okay, inviting people to the Discord. Trying this new channel thingy. Feel free to pop over there if you want to chat. You can also try. Let me see. I'm trying to. That's not the one I want. I wanted this one. Let's see. How do we become the speaker? I am the speaker, you son of a bitch. Pick a topic, start a conversation. Live stream Q&A. See how this works. We're starting a stage. Okay, there are no listeners in here yet. If you want to jump in, feel free. We're just answering questions by voice. And yeah. What a dope. Okay, what was that experience like? What happened? And what do you like now? Hit me up with your responses, or I'm going home. She's such a silly dope. Okay, what was that like? What happened? What do you like now? Not all at once, everybody. I don't want to overwhelm you. Yeah, what's up? Okay. Cool. Anything else? All right. If there's no reports, which seems surprising, no comments, seems surprising, then, here we go. See? Spoke too soon. I knew it. Okay, here, Nick says,
one of those one where I can't remember anything, but it was nice having some calmer guidance replace the very active chatter in the mind which usually snags most of the attention.
All right, well, can't remember. That's a classic. That's what Reagan said, so I guess you get a pass. Cool. I mean, I'm just giving everybody guff. I hope everyone likes when I give them guff because I seem to keep doing it. No, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Okay, the point is that Julia says some parts felt very separate, others almost mushy. Interesting. Be curious about that. Parts that feel separate and parts that feel mushy. Separate meaning like distant separate, like isolated or alienated, and mushy meaning like like I'm wondering if you're talking about identification or what. What did you lose your stick? Yeah, it's right here. What a dumb animal. Someone got offended that I called the dog dumb. I guess it is kind of mean, but I don't know. It just seems so funny because she's like, she's such a dummy. She's like, I think it's so cute. And it was funny because someone was like, that's not nice. You can't do that. And then we were hanging out with somebody like shortly thereafter, and they were like talking about their baby, and they're like, my baby's so dumb, and like thinks that like, whatever. And I was like, that's funny. If it's not allowed with a dog, is it allowed with a baby? Okay, any other reports with that meditation? Was like any questions about life, challenges, interests, what to do if you're in love with the mailman? What is up, folks? Questions? I feel like I want like what is it called? Like not a gossip column, like an advice column, something like that. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Jean's got the mega report here. Jean says. Every time I say that, I think, Jean says, like
I started with a raging to-do list in my mind but was eventually able to tune in. Anything that arose after that I found, of course, to be a useful response. I think I had a similar experience to Nick. I don't remember everything, but I felt a lot physically and suspect my subconscious mind picked up a lot of things that I'm not fully conscious of. In other words, it felt like I really got a lot out of it but can't quite explain why.
Great. Yeah, there's something really, really powerful about just saying, I hear you. Of course that makes sense. I mean, because what part of what we're also doing is we're looking at the drives of these parts. It's like, oh, I want this thing. I want it so bad. And instead of saying, stop wanting that thing, which isn't really going to work, we say, of course you want ice cream instead of food. Of course that makes sense. And it helps the part feel heard, and it helps it also not be, feel isolated. So what else, folks? We don't have to stay forever, but if you want to, we can, or if you have any questions, we can answer those. Any challenges, any interests. Somebody came on, or I talked to somebody on the, what is it called, on Reddit, who is, their background is that they're Burmese, and they want to know about the mind illuminated, and yeah. So we're going to do that at one of these things coming soon, is talk about the relationship of the mind illuminated and what they call traditional Burmese practice, which I was like, which one? Because Burma's pretty radical, actually. Julia says,
I'm working with feelings of being separate and different ways of selfing in daily life also.
Well, I still have the question then. I'm working on feelings of being separate. But the thing is that usually we talk about like, oh, I feel separate is a negative valence, but it can also be a positive valence. It can be like yeah, I have a sense of separation, a sense of distance, a sense of, my own autonomy, that kind of thing. So are you referring to isolation is what I'm wondering. Or is it something else? Tell me. Jean says,
One physical thing I felt aware of was opening my chest. My shoulders were sort of rolled forward, and when I adjusted, I felt much better, more open, like it was an improvement.
nice. Yeah. I've been doing yoga every single day since yesterday, and it's great. It's hard to get myself to be willing to like do a yoga video. I always just want to like stretch and like put a timer on and stuff. Anyway, very interesting stuff. Okay. Beep up, beep up. Okay, folks. Any other questions, reports, interests, opportunities, queries, questions, or inquiries? What is up? Okay, here we go. Jean says, both improvement physically, I felt more grounded, and also mentally. Very nice. Nick says here,
Had the feeling today that things was happening more spontaneous than before, like I wasn't thinking of my actions beforehand. Maybe I noticed that a rising of intentions just happens too, and then it doesn't feel as much that I'm doing the following action since I didn't do the intention.
yeah, that's great. Yeah, watching intention is an entire, practice in Burmese practice, actually. In Mahasi in particular, has people really watch intention as its own sort of entity. Okay, Julia says, I don't mean isolation, more like I'm me and not other people, which is surprisingly unpleasant. This is okay.
Like, one would think that being separate from someone one doesn't like would be pleasurable. But that is not always the case.
Interesting. Yeah, the whole, I don't know if you're familiar with Al-Anon, but the whole world of Al-Anon is about like the sort of addiction to being like overly connected to other people. It's pretty interesting stuff. So interesting. I'd love to talk about it. I feel like I could get greater understanding if I could talk to you about how that manifests, but no pressure. And I'd be curious to see how that unfolds over time. Okay, anything else, folks? Anything else as we are moving along here? If not, no pressure. It is interesting. Well, I feel like, again, it's like everything's neutral, being separate. I feel like there is a thing of like, if you're separate from the person, you can't really fix them or change them or like whatever. It's like you have to accept that they're autonomous too. Not always pleasant. Any other questions, curiosities about life, times, all those things? I gotta give it its own light for the dog here. We'll use a little cinematic magic. I'll just hold that there so you can have some nice dog light. How's that, doggy? Having a little light? Is that better? Is that what you're hoping would happen in this moment? Is that you would be chewing on your bone and then somebody would shine a light in your face? Okay, let's rearrange. How's that? Here's your bone. Okay, lighting resolved, sort of. Okay, so the point of it all, folks, is great to be here with you today. Hey, stop chewing on your leash. Oh, you're not. Okay, good. Great to be here with you. Great to break out the doggy cam again. We finally got the dog back in its own universe here. Okay, Julia now says, oh wait, I'm missing oh no, okay, I got both comments. Okay, great, folks. Great to be here with you. Lovely as always. What a lovely day. Excited to be back here with you in fewer than 48 hours, meditating once more Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. In the meantime, hit me with any questions, queries. Oh, Nick with the late comment. I love it. Okay. Nick says, I think referring to something you said just a moment ago. I like your stream. Well, that's very kind, Julia. Thank you so much.
It's kind of like when you're out walking and see something eye-catching, and the body still keeps walking and doing its thing automatically, even when you are fully absorbed in the sights. Which is a great thing, or we'd just fall down a lot more. Managing stuff is pretty exhausting.
It's crazy how much we think we're in control of. And so we're like, I gotta control, like as though we actually were in control of huge numbers of things that we have no control over whatsoever. I think a lot of what meditation does is show you that all this stuff is just happening. And we can kind of sit back because we don't need to control it. There's no need to manage all of this stuff. And often people like start detecting their breath, and suddenly they're like, I'm controlling my breath. Am I controlling my breath? I don't know. And it's like their mind will get all hung up on this thing. But it's funny because it's like, it doesn't matter if you're controlling your breath or not. It's still going to keep breathing. And if you try to stop controlling your breath, your body will force you to breathe. So, it's just funny. So people think they're in control when they're really not. So folks, I swear to God, I'm going to end this stream. If there's no more questions or interest or curiosities or whatever, see a few people popped on. Welcome if you're just popping on. Follow, obviously, but also P.S. I really do answer questions about people's lives, and hopefully it's helpful. I mean, people tell me it's helpful. Challenges, interest, opportunities, not just clearly meditation-related ones. People ask. I remember somebody came on here once. Nick probably remembers this. Somebody came on, and they were just like, why do I feel, it was something like, why do I feel sad? And I was like, it was such a good question, and then we just like talked about it, and it was really good. Anyway, any questions or queries or anything at all? What's beyond, and prior to the Big Bang? Yeah, exactly. What is consciousness? Oh God, that's a great question. I feel like I'm like, nobody wants to hear me drawl on about what consciousness is. It's funny because it's just like, it's like trying to, for me, it's like trying to define what a rock is. It's like, well, the simplest definition is not like, okay, it's a calcium deposit of, various minerals that have been calcified over time, whatever. It's like a rock is a rock. Here's a rock. Show an example of it, right? It's like, that's the most like direct definition. And then the only other way is to say, okay, this is the perfect definition. These are the words that define it. Or you say, here's a list of things that define it. Different ways of defining things. So in terms of questions, as far as what is consciousness, I can show you right now, and that might sound like wackadoodle. It's like, oh, show you what consciousness is. And it might seem dumb. This is the other thing. It might seem like, well, so what? But this experience you're having right now is known to the body-mind. It is experienced by the body-mind. Consciousness is a very, very interesting thing because we assume that, like, objects don't have consciousness. I was listening to somebody yesterday saying, well, I think that they have a very, very, very simple consciousness. Like, for instance, the tree knows when it needs nutrients, right? And it does whatever action it needs to. It can grow its roots. It can, do these different things. It knows when when it's daytime. It'll perk up its leaves. It'll, different things that trees actually are doing. Is that their own volition? Not in the way that we usually think of it, but it has, it knows what it needs, and it reaches for water, and it grows, and it creates, plants and flowers and all that stuff. So it's a kind of consciousness. It's just not that complex. Our consciousness can reflect on itself, so it thinks that it's some special new category. But consciousness, as unsatisfying as this definition is that which is conscious now, right? This is what consciousness is experientially. In that definition, we lost, 15% of our viewers, so that's how fun this stuff is. Okay, but hopefully that's helpful. Julia Temple says, how to make it through a sleep restriction phase of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. CBTI? What is CBTI? You don't have to answer that. CBTI. I don't know. The sleep restriction phase. Is this the one where you're programming? You're like trying to get yourself back into sleep pattern. So you're like doing sleep restriction. For insomnia, right? I'm definitely not an expert in that. And doing meditations based on sleepiness are really, really helpful. The Shinzen From Fuzz to Buzz essay is a great resource. See, okay, what's happening here, I just want you to know, the dog has dropped her stick several times. You'd think this is an accident. Oh, she's just laying at the edge of the couch and she just dropped her stick. No, this is a game. She's training me, training me to play a game with her. She wants me to play fetch, but I'm the one playing fetch. So it's a very funny thing, but You know, you just got to train her that that's a good girl. Just lay down. Lay down, Willow. Does anyone see this butt movement maneuver she's doing? Oh, I lost the light. Okay, anyway, folks, lovely as always to see you here, be here with you, be here now. If I turn this, the light's going to fall. Okay, it's good. Lovely to be here with you, folks, as always. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to throw on some outro music here for fun. As always, folks, in this particular moment, notice the drives that are in you now. We were ending the stream, and there's a sense of gotta go, get into my day, gotta do these things, right? Next task, etc. So feel those drives within you. We don't have to deny them or make them go away. We just notice those are drives. Those are pushes and pulls within us, and they're valuable information. But we don't want to be a slave to those drives. So just knowing their drives and saying to those drives, of course you drive me to do this, just like the dog is being driven to bite my finger, to gnaw on my finger as a game. Folks, as always, practice well, take care of each other, have fun, and we'll see you all very, very soon.